Whether you main a farming jungler, a ganking jungler, a win condition jungler, we can all agree the one thing that we need is to have strong early games in order to have the best possibility to carry, win, and climb. And so in this video, we will have the ultimate early game jungling guide for Season 14, and we're going to start it right off with this example here. So I'm going to give you some of my coaching material, some absolute gems for every single MMR, but in this example here, High Emerald, Low Diamond, this was just from scouting, and then I had a coaching session today in the same MMR, and the same thing happened. Two completely different champions. So let's look at it. We got a Kayn versus a Nunu. Kayn's going to be starting obviously on the bottom side there, and then we have the Nunu doing a red side quadrant into a mid lane gank. The mid lane gank here doesn't work because both players are not of the high elo variety, and if they're both fully committed, that is a nice chain CC event and they all die. The Kayn decides to cut it and react to this when all he should do is carry on farming knowing he has that tempo advantage, right? He rotates in and dies. The Nunu says, ha ha ha, this is amazing, pushes, does blue, scuttle, repeat ganks to the mid lane, does a little bit of disrespect after we do so, as you do. Then what happens can only be described as Fiesta Central. However, the biggest problem with this Fiesta isn't how it plays out. It plays out quite well. You see the Kayn tries to do something for the Scuttle Crab, the Nunu overchases the Kayn back into his jungle, the enemy mid lane is coming from base, a little bit of, misdirect intent there. Hey, I'm running away. No, I'm killing you. All of this is amazing for the Nunu squad, and they fed Talia. The Kayn, not so good. Look at this though, the Nunu stays out. Pause. This is the big problem with this. Here you need to go back to base. You got a lot of gold, and the idea here is that because you have level 1 camps on the wolves and on the grump on the bottom side, to maximize our experience from all of the Fiesta fighting, we need to take those top side camps off the map again. We can sequence down and have the ability to cut for dragons, to cut for bottom lane ganks, or just a full sequence. And yes, we can also cut for a mid lane gank as well. The best way is always to go through Virkayu.gg. Not only do I have a free jungle improvement resource, I also have a dedicated program with jungle video courses, jungle coaching, coaching classes, a jungle VOD library, special weekly content you'll see nowhere else, as well as all of this hosted in a private jungle Discord. And if there is one thing I'm good at, it's making junglers go from low elo to high elo, as seen by the great number of success stories from the end of last season and already the beginning of Season 14. So to climb faster than everybody you know and to jungle diff every game you play, head to Virkayu.gg or click the link in the description below. The thing is though, by staying out as you watch the Nunu do that, we do the Raptors again. We do the Krugs again, and now we see a gankable scenario on the top lane with the Camille having level 6, but you're solo queue, and you're not in a higher elo environment. She doesn't go in, you do no damage whatsoever, you've not completely wasted your time. The Kayn is going to be on the bottom side and be able to actually take control of certain things if he chooses to do so. Spoiler, he doesn't. But the idea here is that if we stay out too long, what happens is it compromises entirely the pathing that we actually have at our advantage from the good plays we've made. And this ended up putting the Nunu away from where he could actually try and carry the game. His experience wasn't maximized from his farming and he had low CSPM, and he wasted too many times ganking on the top lane when it was shown she would not respond, and honestly, you had better win conditions elsewhere, like the mid laner you were camping. So let's jump into a coaching session where I had an Evelyn in the Emerald range as well. The Kayn decides to psychopathically invade and die level 1, level 2, that's what you're seeing here right now. And after the invade, the Evelyn full clears down, and this is where we pick up. That's fine. Now he knows you're gonna double scuttle. Yeah. If you're gonna give this up, I would just assume it's gone.
Yeah, I didn't want to go to the second skull, honestly. I just wanted to go take the Raptors.
Yeah, but you could have based immediately. You could have immediately just based here and done the same thing.
Yeah.
Right, now you'd have an item advantage, yeah. Yeah. And now you see still no blue. So if you had it, that's why, okay, well, look. I get invaded, I kill him, I laugh at him, I spit on him. And then now you go to this side, you do full clear. Cool. At this point, I chose to finish my full clear rather than trying to do the Scuttle Crab. Okay, respect. But that does mean that this guy might try and yoink it and carry on about his day. And if he does do that, then the best solution for you is to simply acknowledge this, accept this, go in the bush here, make sure your bottom laner are aware of the situation, go back to base, straight up to your Raptors to deny it. If he decides to double scuttle you, you cut him for your Raptors, you prevent it, and you have item advantage. You can maybe kill him again. If he doesn't invade, then you got this, and now you can cut up and do this. If you see him gank this one with no blue and no base, hey, all of a sudden, maybe I can just invade and kill him again. But now you don't have items. Because you stayed out, you don't have items. So instead of basing and doing this, you waffled and did this anyway. So the time is exactly the same, you just now don't have items. Like the Nunu, we go ahead and gank the mid lane, and due to mechanical suboptimal gameplay, I suppose you can say, we're not able to get the kill. We should have stuck around closely, we should have hit up another follow Q, hit the Q on the mid laner and, have all our follow hate spikes actually do damage. But because we pull out and we don't track the jungler and the support, the Jace goes too deep and dies. Now you've compromised your mid lane. Now what happens next is pretty damn good. We are able to understand that the Kayn hasn't based yet. The Kayn will obviously stay out and do the grubs. We will then counter jungle his bottom side quadrant. We will then dive and kill the bottom lane. Then you can go to the scuttle crab. All of this you understand as a jungler, correct? We give up the crab when we have no prior position for it. We use that to counter jungle and gain an advantage somewhere else, fundamental to all early game jungling. And then, of course, the Kayn decides to, again, coin flip a fight for no particular reason. It's at this point, like the Nunu, that she doesn't go back to base and chooses to do the dragon even though the ADC is basing. Let's listen in. The invest here is heavy, but as long as you get 2 kills, it is worth. I'd rather you take a meaningful gank there, right? Now, he does the interesting thing where he just knows you're down here, so he's going to go to your red side, and you have to base with 1500. And if you go back to base after the double kill, you get to go spend that gold. You get a blasting one, right? And you can actually go topside now and do things. You can clear your camps down, full sequence, right? And now you can gank bottom lane again with your ult, and now you can take the dragon.
But and you mean, if I base before dragon, then I go top side, full clear to bot?
Then ult again.
And I have ult, yeah, I have ult for this, yeah, for sure.
Basically, once you invest this much time bottom lane, knowing he gets all the grubs, you get the double kill here for your team and use your ultimate. You got 120 seconds, 2 minutes to spend correctly. Going for this one, for the scuttle crab, perfect. The Kayn decides to contest, he dies, perfect. Go back to base. Because he will assume you're going to do the dragon. You know you took these away, so you know these camps are not on the map. Now, he either goes and takes this red because he wants the red, right? Or he goes topside because he's got topside camps. And if he's going to go topside, he might try and really stretch the counter jungling. Because he's shown to be the guy that just runs in your jungle,
yeah,
I would assume that he would do that. And there's nothing wrong with doing the dragon here. You're just making that active trade of I potentially lose my topside. So if you're a more win condition supportive jungler, then this is fine. I don't care. Because I'll just do this, do my quadrant reset, and come straight back down. I'll assume they're gone and just go straight back down. But as an Evelyn here, I got 2 minutes to spend before I get to use my ult again. I want to use it wisely. Maximize my econ. Get a level advantage here. Because I'm going to assume that he won't go for the dragon because he will think I am already doing that. So that advantage is huge. If the enemy jungler thinks I'm going to do something 100%, don't do it. Because he will path differently. And when you don't do it, he's like, why should I do the dragon? Now, in low elo and mid MMRs, right, even in Emerald, people do this and you're like, why is he not doing the dragon? And it's actually a good dragon. But in your case, I can get more by not doing it. So you've got to weigh those pros and cons, if that makes sense.
That does make sense, for sure.
Because now you get your whole top side. Now you're staying out. You're going to go top side most likely now. Have no camps. And now you've got your ult up, so that's good. You spent half of your downtime doing the dragon when you could have done a whole quadrant. Now the dragon's good. But as I've been saying a lot in the coaching classes, just because grubs spawn at 6 minutes doesn't mean you need to be there at 6:01 to do them. Just because dragon spawns at 5 minutes doesn't mean you just show up and do a dragon. You do them when it makes the most sense. You do it in a way that allows you to maximize your economy. Yeah. And I would honestly, here as an Evelyn, think about, look, do I need to do the dragon? Honestly? Because if Kayn thinks I'm going to do it and I don't, and I just control my full sequence, he gets nothing. And now I'd be bottom lane here, again, snowballing the misfortune, and myself, right? Because if I'd done what I said, I'd be down here. Now you can quickly do this, and if you've got enough gold to go back to base in time to go and get the grubs, you do it. If you don't have enough time to do the grubs, you can actually do the dragon and just beeline to grubs with your prior. Especially if you have ult up and you didn't waste it bottom lane, and so on. You have to make the assessment at this point. And should show up here. Wasted your ult. Wasted your ult. Yeah, not good. Because now you want to do a big old-fashioned fight around here. You don't have your ult up at all.
And here's forced.
And this is forced because, again, you have nothing to do. And Karma will destroy you. Kayn will destroy you. There you go. Now you don't have ult too. Oh, legend! Beast! Ah, fuck. God damn it. God damn it.
And it dies because of me too.
Yep. So multiple times you've had no camps on the map, 3 times now, and you've had to do a gank. Versus controlling your sequencing and you choosing when to gank. The gank you did here was you choosing to do it. I give up grubs to counter jungle and double kill. I then use it to get a scuttle, go back to base, do a full sequence, and do it again. Then I get the dragon, and now I get the grubs. So base timings are very important based on what you want to do next. This is it. to get diamond, I know people like to meme it, is still difficult. It still takes a lot of consistency. It still takes thinking at a higher level. Not easy. And that turned out to be quite interesting because then the Kane also decided to go back for the second grubs, overstays. The Evelyn says, you know what, I got no camps up, I might as well just go and collapse and kill him, which she does. And then she does the same thing on the Herald. So as all junglers, please understand that sometimes you just have to give up the objective. And if you have to give up multiple objectives, the map is in a situation where you're being collapsed upon like this. Most likely there's a back timing moment that you didn't fully maximize to actually harness the true potential that you had in that game. The Nunu and the Evelyn, because of their overstays, were no longer in a position to punish the enemy jungler properly, to maximize their golden experience per minute, and to really take over the game. That's what you need to get to Diamond and to Master Tier. But what happens when we apply some of these principles to other MMRs? And I have some great sessions here for you. Diamond, Gold, Platinum, whatever you might want for every single early game situation in Season 14. Enjoy. You are a brave man. Yeah. In this situation, your only two options are as follows. Die and make a point and swear at your laners from damn well watching the entrances so you can see this and react properly. Or say, and then just go topside. And try vertical. See what happens. Because this is what you have to do. You either make a point and say, look, I'm going to try corner from and steal this red anyway, or I think they've left, I'm going to go for it anyway. And you just yell, Leroy Jenkins, and you run in, and you die. Okay, but then you respawn in 2 seconds, and off you go. You lose a little bit of time, but at least you're back on the map. But when you kind of, should I go, and then you flash and recall, it's the worst thing that could possibly happen is what happened to you. Yeah, no, it's fine. Like, we all have these games. These are all things we have. And I understand why you didn't even go for this, because Orianna versus Cassio, Jax has already out-traded your Pantheon. He's got Johnny Bravo legs, this Pantheon. He's not the real deal. So you're just forced to give things up. Now, of course, what he does, which is, of course, the smart play. Okay, here we go. Hello, yes. And now you're thinking, thank God. God bless, right? Yeah, exactly right. I know where you are. I can now shadow in here. My bottom lane have died, but they're super duper low. I can go ahead and do this. And he's like, he lost all this pressure. Which is why in certain MMRs, I just say, guys, stop cheesing. Like, stop watching. Stop listening to this nonsense, because it's not about the cheese. The cheese in itself is irrelevant. It's what do you do if you're successful? And most MMRs cannot apply the pressure necessary, execute this level of advantage. He doesn't know what the hell to do. He's got so much time advantage over you, so much control, he doesn't know how to deal with it. But as soon as he crosses mid in the vision, he goes for his red to protect and he sees you're not there, he needs to go down to this sucker and then straight onto your ass right here. And one could even suggest, in Mordekaiser's case, because he clears slower than the most meta junglers in the scenario, skip the Raptors and go straight back to it. Keep the denial pressure. And because his bottom lane is here, and the Cassio is not going to rotate at this level of resources, and Orianna's coming from base, he has that advantage over you. Right? So he should continually deny you here, but they just don't see it through. They do not see it through. This is not incorrect either. Let's be honest. All right? Compromise the Viego. I got his red side quadrant. I'm going to give him my blue side quadrant. My bottom lane's already winning. All I've got to do is take my top side quadrant and get my top laner. This is not incorrect either. Right? But it is giving you a way back into the game. So he has to make that active decision of, do I want to snowball my Jax and get this win con going for myself and for him, or do I want to prevent the Viego from ever becoming a threat? Those are often two questions we're faced with as junglers. They're not easy answers. They're not always obvious. Obviously, here he goes. I'm okay with him kind of doing this and to get some timers on camps because he doesn't know when you did things. Obviously, you've not taken this. He should ping off the bottom lane. They should know that you're on this side. At this point, I would assume you've taken my blue side, and this is where, again, he does not see it through. He should know that you have taken all of it, and there's no reason to go here whatsoever. Right? Good. Cut. All right. Good. Now, you can fall back to this and carry on going, but you know that this guy's most likely basing, so you should probably base too if you want to defend this. 5 minutes. You got 1 minute till grubs as well. Mordekaiser doesn't see the timers on your camps yet. And now, has nothing to do. So this is why I don't... Really? Really, sir? So this is why I don't really like always cutting off of this denial into the lane gank. Like, it's fine, it's good, it's healthy, but I prefer to make sure that you get nothing, because I don't want to be in this situation right now as Mordekaiser, where because I delayed your start so much, I don't have a natural counter jungling timer. So now, if he's smart, he will say, okay, well, Virkayu should go back to base to do these to protect him, but he also could stay out. He's in a really tough situation. What if you did stay out? And he doesn't have the timer. Like, if you honestly stayed out here, what does he do? He's walking around with his dick in his hands. He don't have nothing to do. He can only do the dragon. Or gank bottom lane, maybe. Like, there's literally nothing else he can do. So from my perspective as Virkayu, if I have my own timer, which you should have, right? You have your own timer. And we do this. Know that the Mordekaiser should be on the bottom side. You ping it and track it. Then I'm happy to stay out to prevent counter jungling and maybe even stay out a little bit longer. Because I don't plan on fighting for the grubs at this stage. Not a goal of mine. Unless he gives it to you, but a lot of what I'm saying here is A and B, right? Option A, option B. And which one you go with is what's my philosophy on jungling? And what's state of the map? What are the timers? And those all change. Those are all variables. So here, let's see what he does. He shows, and of course, what did I say? He's got nothing else to do, so he's going to go into your jungle. There you go. And that's why I like to take it away if I'm tracking correctly. If the guy really wants to walk over here and wait for this to respawn, again, as you said, God bless, let him do it. Let him do it. I'm fine with that. That's the randomness, and I'll deal with it. Obviously, here he sees a gank in the mid lane instead, and obviously you extrapolate this nicely. Here, don't play games too much. The goal is to definitely kill him. Nice, nice. See, that's already much better. Much better order, much better Q, much better accuracy, much better hold on the flash. Very good. Very good. We like that. But if the Mordekaiser wants to give you freebies, you know, we'll take it. Oh, yes, we shall. We take those. Obviously, here you go for this first one, which I don't hate, but of course now what does it do? Puts you in a bit of a problem. Big problem. And that's why when you make a play like this, base. Or stay out and do camps. And as I was explaining to Black Recall earlier, the video that I'm making next, when it eventually gets made, is about understanding this. Like, look at top lane. Hey. He's back in lane. Does Cassie have TP? No. Lane prio, and this guy has been running around duck, duck, goose. Yeah, it's reasonable that Mord will come back. Because people are obsessed with this shit. They really are obsessed with this shit. Use it against them. No, I don't want to give 3 grubs to Jax, but what's the alternative? I give 3 grubs to Jax, my camps, and my life? That seems worse. It's the later equivalent of, if I just base and lose a plate and come back, it's better than trying to hold the plate, losing it, dying, and then losing a wave as well. And it's always a triple factor. If you just give up one thing, it's better than not giving it up and giving up 3 things. And it's always like that. Maybe we should make a note of that. The triple factor rule. The triple factor crime. No, the 3-body problem.
And finally, to see all of this within one game example, we have this Keen full clearing down, this Vice misleading him, and really stay to the end for some insane goal timings with regards to the grubs.
You go down here. This is seen obviously now. You do your full clear. Okay, you don't know it's seen, obviously. But as we talk about a lot, right? Like, look at his.
Yep.
But what are you gonna do? Not do the Raptors? You know?
No, you still
like,
do them, yeah.
Yeah, you still do them, but
no. Yeah.
I need to know that I'm seen, which is something we talked about later on as well, where I said, okay, like you walked over a ward that you knew was there. If you just go around it, now they don't know where you are. And those little moments of mislead really do enable a lot more cool plays down the line. Sure. So it doesn't change anything now. 231 cross, obviously Kane's blue side is obviously a lot slower when you can't rejoin the wolves in the blue. He goes up here and does this. And this is not an intentional reverse clear. This is her being unsure of what's going on. But at this point, you going for this gank, when you called out to me, okay, look, Vice probably started topside leashless, which is a great mislead by her, right? Yeah. Go opposite direction. But now, if you are so convinced that you started topside and we're going for this, it's 328. So do you see this as a ganking angle that you can actually go for and get a lot of benefit? Like, are we actually going to be in kill threat here? You know, if things go right and Ivan hits his Q and I layer my abilities, maybe we can kill someone, at least burn some sums. But overall, still good, right? Like, that's all nitpicking and micro stuff, but we take this now, I'm like, okay, Vi is going to be down here. Zira's like, and you're like, what are you doing? Now we're all super low, and you assume that the Vi was in fact down here. So now I'm like, okay, well, I'm a little bit nervous. Vi shadows across mid lane with a push that she has. You move up into this area, and I just let you play here. I kind of wanted to see what you were going to do. You don't know where she is, so you hit this one. Why would she ever be there 355? The only way she is down bottom side right now is if she's already in your face. Like at 355, there's no way she's already... she's not in your face right now, if she was down here. Like once you check. Which means the only other thing I can think of is that she started leashless, was a little bit slow, and now is doing the scuttle crab instead of rotating. So in both situations, she's either in my face right now if she's down here and she skipped the scuttle crab, but she isn't. That means she actually started bot side and went up, and now she's already doing this, which means she could come down because Corky's disappeared. Or she was slow pathing down, and she's on this currently. In either situation, do you want to be face checking this right now with your bottom lane going back to base?
No.
No.
Yeah.
The bounce. But after that, you see this up, he's trapping you. The obvious bait. It's a very easy bait. And the Corky sags down too. And there's no reason for you to miss the Corky sagging down. Because he disappears here and he literally shows where he's going. See, now, in my opinion, it's 351. She's not doing her camps anymore, is she? Where could she be? Here.
Yeah.
Or here. To hit the plan in that direction. That's it. Hit the plan in that direction. If you're so invested in this, hit it and see it, and they'd be like, oh, I see you guys. And then you just run away. So leave. Nice little base. Walk back. Out. Here, she shows up level 4, 24 CS. I would not presume that she did a 5 camper and left the walls. Like, it wouldn't be a thing I'm calculating.
Yeah.
But obviously, if she runs across mid lane, leeches experience, she could also be like, I don't really know the full picture at this stage. Yeah, the full clear is level 4, and she just come back and top crab is available. Or she did something else, and I'm not quite sure what she did yet, and I need to get more information before I determine that. But in all realities, I'm not looking to face check her on this. Hit the plank, get the vision to bounce. Now, you'd see this, you go, okay, 24 CS, you didn't press tab, because what happened was, you see this over here, they should lazy, like you saw this, yeah, this is just inexcusable, really. Like, sure, you enforce this by face checking. If you just hit this and leave, she doesn't show up, probably. Right? But because you show up and do damage, she follows you out. And of course, this is like, it's just unacceptable to, like, why do you turn back, just walk away? Like, you can't do anything about this. That's why even if this game was one of the 20 that you're just going to lose, I want to know that for certain. I want to know that, am I definitely losing this game every time I play it? Or is there a possibility to make it part of the 20% of the games I play where I could have had an impact and maybe we win? So we cross over here, obviously, and now at this particular stage, you realize that the Grom shows up, right? This crab is taken, and now we're compromised. So this period here is where you lose total ability to make impact. Because if you click on her, right? What do you notice about her right now that's most important with regards to tracking?
I mean, she doesn't have her blue on her, so definitely start bot side, because it'd be gone by now, yeah.
So do we need to waste time going for Raptors?
No.
Cool. And that's exactly right. Good read. Immediately. But in-game, you didn't notice. In-game, you didn't press tab. That loss of information is a problem, in my opinion. Advice. What would you tell yourself to do based upon everything we just discussed? Right now, what would you tell this game player to do?
Just, yeah, get out of there, reset.
Bounce.
Yeah.
Bounce, baby, bounce. Because I know the Vice are now going to spend time on the bottom side. It's 4 minutes. There's no grubs in 1 minute. Before, there'd be grubs in 1 minute. ADC! Idiot. It's fine. I come back in base. I'm watching this. You know, maybe if I retract with her, this doesn't happen. Now, it's still her fault, but let's just say it probably doesn't happen if you're there, right? You ping her off. All 3 goon squatting together. Cool. Vi doesn't get a first kill. That's already huge. That's big for us. No assists on these guys either. No death in Zeri either. Huge for everybody. Now we come at a base, we look topside. Nothing. So then what do? Problem. Right? But your eyes need to go here. Because even though we didn't expect the Akali to really do anything against the Skarner, I should expect my jungler to look anyway, because we need to play what is not what should be. So in theory, I think Skarner will win this lane and Akali will do nothing to him. Okay, sure, that's what happened. But what if you're in a game where your Akali's a smurf or Akali's just a really good player and she's actually shitting on him and he's low HP right now? And you know that the Vi's down here, right? Like you see the Vi doing all of this stuff. So maybe I can go dive this free now because he's low. Mm-hmm. But this isn't something we were checking really. So our camera movement was a bit lacking. But once you see this, you know, I'm not bothering at all because Akali hasn't gone back to base.
he has. I can easily do my quadrant, and if I can loop back up here, I can. If I want to loop back up, I can. Akali has her TP. We're just observing this. Maybe we can do something. Because now you have to base. You don't want to make this read because you haven't based. And Vi will go back to base and buy, right? 6 for him, the base for her. Obviously not very good, right? Whatever happened here is not our problem. Now you coin flip this. Now here's the thing. What did I say? Vi shows up in your face here. We didn't press tab really. We didn't really track a lot of what's going on. So immediately, if you get pushed off of the scuttle crab with Vi being at 24 CS, you see then that the top scuttle is also taken. That means he did 5 camper plus scuttle. So one of her camps somewhere is available. Most likely Wolves or Raptors. Most likely. Could be Krugs. Definitely isn't the Gromp. We know that much. Mm-hmm. So what happens is, after she pushes you out, she gets to 28, she gets to 32, she gets to 36, and she goes back to base. Based upon the information we had, because we didn't get the information, we thought that maybe this Wolf Camp respawn was still available. Because we didn't track her CS properly with the tab pressing. So we don't really know what's going on. But we both assumed that she should go topside. Well, you said she would go topside. I said yes. But then I said, because I would put myself in the position of the Vi, I would assume that the K knew where I was going, knew that I did my bottom side quadrant again, and would assume I was going topside, which means he might try and greed for the dragon. So I instead will just go for it myself. Because there's no grubs right now, I don't have to worry about them just yet. Yeah, they're spawning in 10 seconds, but I also know that the Kane, after he goes all the way across here, disappears, will have to be in the bottom side, because you started top side. So in theory, the Kane will cut down for this, thinking, aha, I can do this. And instead of handshaking the grubs, I'm going to go and contest it. Now, how is this different to grubs spawning at 5 minutes? It isn't. It's the same battle at 6 minutes. Because look, in 10 seconds they spawn, right?
Yeah.
So you go for this with the assumption that Vi is going to go topside and do the grubs. And I said Vi will know this and will cut up and try and cut you off. And hello. He does exactly that. And that's the next level. Not only, hey, yeah, you do the dragon, I'll do these. It's like, you know what? Screw these. You don't get this. Jungle denial, right? Comes back to surface again. Mm-hmm. That's where the Vi just beat you out. Completely. Focus on a full clear. Did a scuttle crab. You extrapolated where you were going next because you telegraphed it. You did not respect that possibility because you didn't extrapolate her. You look at the timer and try to make sense of where she is. And thus, you get pushed off. No jungler gets anything. And this game is for sure tough. I know it's tough. It's a really difficult game to win. But you made it very easy for them as well. All you've got to do is make it difficult for them. Because what happens when you make it difficult for them is they make mistakes. So here, this is fine. But I would argue at this particular stage, think about the game state. What do we have here at the moment? 1,000 gold lead for the red team. This guy's just pushing in my Kali. I don't have 6, so I don't really want to fight the Skarner unless I have 6. He's pushing in plates already. Pushing in plates already. Pushing in plates already. Ooh, and we are nowhere near any plates. So the counter jungling. Cool. Good. Right? Makes sense. And they saw you here. So she's going to assume you're going to go down to Krug. So I like your cut up. I like the cut up. It's a good cut. Very nice. Stuff you wouldn't have done before when you were Emerald, right? Like you just keep sequencing and then Shadow. And now you're like, you know what? I'll make them think I'm going to Krugs. I'll just loop back up. But maybe this is just a better play right now. Because what happens is if you get 3 of these babies, all right, you take away a lot of their ability to shove this when they get 2 or 1 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6. And they're already shoving you in. So even though you might not be able to maximize the grubs, you can deny them a little bit of that shove. Because you look at your lanes like, whoa, if they get grubs, right? Mm-hmm. We're just going to slowly be pushed in. And that's what happens. They get 2 grubs and they get a couple more grubs and they just slowly push you in. You can also deny a little bit of that power. And you can say, well, yeah, sure, maybe you should do this, but maybe we just do the Raptors. Do the Raptors, hit the plant, and go back to grubs. Let's see how the timing would work out. Go to grubs, go to grubs, go to grubs. We're on them right now, all right? My problem is that the Corki dips up, and I don't know what his state is. Again, you didn't click. I need to see, Corki no mana. Okay, I'm relaxed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's so good, because you know in game you were doing the grubs now after the Krugs, and I saw the Corki disappear, and I'm like, uh-oh. I even said it, but I didn't know he had no mana. Again, information that we need to get back to tracking. And Vi knows at this stage, like, once she does this, she knows that you must be doing the grubs, right? She knows you must be doing the grubs. And she cancels to rotate up here just because of the grubs. She's drawn to them. But you would have finished these suckers already. And now because the Skarner I'm convinced you at least have done 2, and you're probably finishing up the next one. Can we get our rotate on this at level 6? Like, we wouldn't not be level 6, but can we at least rotate and maybe still kill him anyway? So this is your kill threat moment with Vi on the bottom side, the Corki going back to base, 2 people bottom, and now you can kill Skarner. So how it will play out exactly, unknown, because now you guys are just fighting. There's no grubs to coin flip. No one's taking any damage. If Vi shows up, you're like, why are you here? Do we want to fight this? Corki obviously TP's back to the mid lane. That's something we have to pay attention to and expect. And obviously the Vi uses a smite there. She flashes for some particular reason. You go ult inside it. Again, like, why are we ulting her here? She's not in kill threat. And obviously the fight would be better off if you guys didn't have split focus on grubs and everything like that. Because what you didn't want to do here was let her do this and then reset up a whole team to go and fight over this as well. We had to trade this, as I said. The ping pong of doing this into this is in theory good. But in reality, you're not going to be setting up for a 5-minute dragon, doing it, because it takes you like 45 seconds to do, and then going for the grubs. Realistically, this is just not going to be a thing that happens that often. Pre-played because of grubs. Here. Look at this. 3 plates due to grubs. There's 2 plates already just because she got 2 grubs. Maybe they get them without the grubs, but I don't think in that moment they get them.
Yeah.
And the moments are important, right? Because the moments tie into trades, the tie into bases, the tie into itemization spikes. Even if the Lucian kills her, goes back to base now. If he lacks, the 175 split gold from this, and he has to wait in base for 60 gold, versus staying out greedily, and maybe you can kill him from this. Like, these are all hypotheticals, but it's about putting yourself in the best position for this shit to happen. Vi's there. That's just 17 damage. I mean, if you've played it properly up until now, can we agree that you would at least have an extra longsword?
Yeah.
But it's so unlucky. But again, you make your own luck in a certain way, right? Like, if you played this a little better, maybe you pop off, or you have a Warhammer, and then he definitely dies. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Always. And now that's 3 plates that we've seen taken because of grub impact. Now, Vi does a good job here going in and knowing you're going to do this. You smite a little bit too soon, and she gets a kill. I think that's just a mistake, because she didn't even smite, by the way, so you just missed yours. I think if you get this and get out, it's worthy thieving. Because you're so behind now, you kind of have to do this a little bit. I mean, have to? No, but at least you know that the Vi hasn't gone back to base, right? Corki rotates again, but now we're compromising. Here, you know it's warded here, so don't go this way, go this way. Why go this way? Just go here underneath. Quickest route to wolves, yeah. If you do that, you'll be in a much more prime position to sequence down in an unknown way and maybe impact bottom lane, maybe do this, who knows. Like, you decided to go for this red as a killer play, right? I know Vi's low, I know he has to go back to base. So once you do this, I like that you drift in shadow. You will assume that she saw you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now just ditch. Go around the ward, use your circumvention. Or if you want to be a dick, steal the raptors and then go wolves. But I would just go do this. Sync up with a Zeri. Ooh. Oh. Maybe there's something we can do here. What's my ult timer? Nice. Syncs up beautifully. So, look at this. Look at this. You're watching this. Oh, they go back to base. Oh, well. Well, if they went back to base and I finish my sequence, maybe I can go into a jungle. Have a look, see. What's going on here? Look at what the grubs have enabled here from the bottom lane.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, it's not huge, but it's huge.
Yeah.
Them being able to accumulate these extra stashes of gold. 2,000, he's going to go back to base. Come out of base. With it all spent. I'm so glad this happened. It gave him Kraken Slayer. He has 26 gold in pocket. He has 150 extra gold that he may or may not have had without the grubs. That's insane. Let's assume that he still gets 1 plate, which he definitely does, even without the grubs. That's 75 gold. He still doesn't have enough to get Kraken Slayer. So then maybe this sucker reads more to get it. And you're right here because you sequence down. You mislead. Now, instead of going here, you go here. And this is where your game breaks open. Because now you force her into doing this or this. And she doesn't know where you're going. She thinks you're on red, right? So imagine she does the same thing, Is Kano red? Wasting time. Is it worth getting the red? Or is it worth making her think you're getting the red so she thinks that you're doing it? Like, you were in her head here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can't steal my red, no! And she rotates, and Corky rotates. And you're like, hey, you're done here. And you see this fighting going on, and if I can rotate to this, because now he greets for an extra 75 gold to get the Kraken, that's the moment. And you know ADCs always do that damn shit.
Oh yeah.